Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing great. Those who are new to my channel, thank you for joining this session. And I would request you if you want to follow my future videos that I'm going to post for all of you related to Sterling B2B integrator or cloud or setting up MFT on either on premise and cloud. Please do like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and also hit the bell icon so that you can get notified when I'm posting different videos. So, in today's video, I'm going to cover miscellaneous topics. There are three things that I planned for today's session. The first is we covered mailbox concepts in our last video. So in today's video, I'm thinking of just doing a small demo of like creating a mailbox and uploading a file and then making sure the file is uploaded by checking the mailbox. That's a quick demo, followed by an important tool within Sterling B2B integrator, which a lot of folks doesn't know or are not aware of, is something called Q Watcher. So we're going to cover that Q Watcher tool, how you can access that, what is the benefit of using Q Watcher rather than only the dashboard, mostly for production support as well as for admin related activities. And then, in addition to that, I'm going to also recommend one of the not a certificate course, or like typically there used to be Sterling B2B integrator certificate that you can appear for, but there is no longer a certificate around Sterling B2B integrator, but there is a good course that you can take which is related to Sterling Data Exchange. So I'm going to share some of the information around that. If you want to showcase one of the Sterling integrator related batches in your professional networking site to make your resume more like promising, right, around Sterling B2B integrator. So I'm going to talk about that. Now let's get started. So let me share my screen and then we can continue. So we're gonna log in. So once you have logged in, you can go to deployment, and then as I showed you, expand the mailboxes, and configuration is where you typically set up any new mailboxes. So if you remember last time, I did set up one test mailbox. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to show you how to create the test mailbox again, right? You can follow my previous video, how to create a new mailbox and how to assign users and groups permissions to the mailbox, and then create a mailbox. Once you have gone through my previous video, so you will be at this stage where you have a test mailbox. And now the next step that we are going to continue is upload a file to this test mailbox. Now, there are different ways of accessing mailboxes. Now, if this mailbox is accessible through, like, let's say if you have hosted Sterling integrator as an SFTP server and you have given access to an external trading partner who can log in through any SFTP client like WinSCP or FileZilla. And when they log in, they are able to see this mailbox and they can send files or retrieve files from this folder. That's one way of accessing mailboxes that you expose to external users or external trading partners. The other way is typically through Sterling File Gateway, right? So if you install Sterling File Gateway and then create producers and consumers and create routing rules, like through the Sterling file gateway configuration. What it happens is that producer is nothing but a trading partner or an application who is sending a file to a producer mailbox, and then automatically based on the configuration, either it can be based on file name, or there can be like different customization that you can be using provisioning facts. The file gets picked up based on the rule that it gets evaluated on, and then sends the file to a consumer mailbox from where a application that is supposed to receive the file can grab the file, right? Or there can be business processes that can be bootstrapped to the consumer mailbox to further uh, push the file to a internal or an external application or system, right? The other quick way of doing a testing for today's demo, what I'm going to show is I'm going to log out from this dashboard portal, and let's log out. And then if you see on the top, instead of slash, like after you have given the URL colon the base port, uh, and then you have given dashboard, you can simply type mailbox instead of dashboard. It's going to open a mailbox browser interface instead of uh, Sterling integrator dashboard. So if you see now, it's asking mailbox slash JSP slash login JSP. And then I'm going to use my credentials to log in to the mailbox browser interface, or it is called MBI in short, or mailbox interface. If you see over here, mailbox interface MBI, right? This looks a little different because this is where you actually can work with the mailboxes. So those who are new to this, okay, this is an interesting portal that you can use in addition to the dashboard. Now over here, there are on the left hand side, if you see, there are multiple tabs. Predominantly we use a couple of them. One is the mailbox search, where you can search for files that are sitting or that have been received or that are there within the mailboxes. So you can click on mailbox search, which typically opens these search options, and then there are filters like based on timestamp, based on message name or message ID. You can go to specific mailboxes, right? And then you can look into the messages that you're trying to find. The one that we're going to use for today's demo is the mailbox send tab. So in the mailbox send tab, I'm going to select slash test. So this is the mailbox that I'm going to put a file or upload a file. I'm going to click browse. And let's say I'm going to upload this sample test file. And I can rename it. Like if you want, instead of the sample source file name, when the file is sent to test mailbox, you want to rename it, you can do that. And you just can click on go. So what it is trying to do is basically uploading that test file or the sample file that you have selected to that mailbox. Once it is done, it's going to automatically come back to the mailbox search window. Now I can select this test mailbox and keep the creation date like from to like last 24 hours and just click on go over here. If I do that, as I've uploaded the sample test file, you should be able to see the message name, the ID, the message ID, when the data was uploaded, that is the created date, time, the size of the file, the mailbox that the file is lying inside, and then the extract policy, and then the policy value. Now, extract policy can be different. There are different flags. So there is one called extractable count, which is what it is here. Like if you say the extract policy is count, that means this mailbox is tied to a extract policy called extractable count, which means that when you upload a file for the first time, the extractable count becomes 1 instead of 0, which is the default one, which means the file is only downloadable or extractable once. Once the file, like if you see over here, there is a tab called extract. That means you're downloading the file, right? So if you download the file from this extractable count policy value becomes 0. That means it gets decremented. That means the file is only retrievable once. That's one kind of extractable policy. There's another extractable policy which is called extractable until, and there's a date. So you can uh, download the file or extract the file multiple times until that expiry date, until which the data is extractable. So there is no that's another extractable policy that you can attach to a mailbox when you're configuring the mailbox, right? Now, and I can show you, right? Like let's say if I click on extract, and let's say I want to save it, all right, and maybe my documents, and just click on save, and then let's go back and search for test, click on go. You see over here an interesting thing has happened, right? The extract policy is count, but if you see, the policy value has changed from 1 to 0. Why? The reason is, as I mentioned, you can only extract the file once, right? That is the reason when I downloaded the file, the counter again reset to 0. That means I cannot download this file multiple times. This is an important concept and configuration that is really needed. Like there are certain applications where you don't want to send duplicate files, right? If there's a failure or something, if you restart, okay, maybe the file is sent twice, right? So those kind of scenarios, like there are multiple use cases. I'm just giving you one a very high level use case where this extract policy, like extractable count, is something that is very important. So when you are actually designing or defining your mailboxes, you need to be very sure what is the policy that you want to attach in respect to the extractability, right? Whether it is extractable until, whether it is extractable count, right? Things like that. So if you see, like if I try, like I cannot even click on this extract now. Like there is no hyperlink or there is no way I can click on this to extract, because I cannot do that. Like it's only extractable once. But I can do an interesting thing. Like I'm going to show you this. Let's go back to our dashboard, and I can change this. I can update it if you're an admin, right? I can even make this file, like the file is not deleted, the file is still there, right? The payload is still there until the mailbox message is deleted by mailbox message delete message process, right? Which runs based on when the mailbox message has written. And that's a different topic. We don't want to cover that for today. But if I go to deployment, and then if I go to mailboxes, and then messages, let's say select all of them, and if you see, it's the same mailbox message that we are talking about, and in the extractable count policy is 0. I can again make this file available. Like sometimes it happens, like during production support, that I have to make this file again available for external or internal users to download the file, because they might have misplaced it, they are not able to find it. There are different reasons, right? So what I can do is I can click on edit, and if you see, there's like three types of extractable policy: extractable count, extractable until, and extractable, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it one again. Or if I want, like there are multiple users that want to download, if you have to increment it by like 2 or 3 based on how many people wants to download from different teams, you can even implement that, right? So if you, like, let's say for example, we give it 2, right? And then just save it. So now that I've updated the mailbox extractable count to 2, this file, and if you can verify this policy value, if I go back to same MBI interface, and then search for the file, the extract uh, button again gets activated. Like I can actually download this file, right? I have that option now to click over here, and the policy value is 2. That means I can actually download this file twice instead of once. Let's try it. So I'm gonna save it, maybe same, just replace it, and then let's go back and search for this. So I have downloaded it once. That means it will decrement and the value will become 1. So I should be able to download it again. You will see over here. So, and then as soon as I download it twice, which is my upper limit, now if I go back to say mailbox search and search for the file, I should see the policy value becomes 0 and I don't have option to download it again, right? So I hope this was helpful, like this portal and the extractor policy related values that you can configure to the mailbox or attach to the mailbox for different use cases. The next topic that I want to show you, and before that, I'm gonna talk about queues. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with queues. So anything that runs within Sterling B2B integrator, any business processes, any specific services or adapters, right? They run in different queues. Typically, queues are, if you want to learn more, like you have more information about the default queues, the business process that we write, typically we assign Q4 as the default one, but based on the requirements of and the criticality of the business processes, you might have to reassign the queue to a higher number or a lower number, things like that, right? So there is a proper queue management process as an administrator or as a developer that you need to be cognizant about when you are developing or managing your business processes. But on a high level, if you go to operations and then if you go to system and then troubleshooter, and if you see over here, there is a tab called business process queue usage, right? Now, if you click on this queue usage, there are actually 9 queues. It's gonna take some time to load this information. But if you see over here, there's something called queue statistics, right? And then it gives some additional information. What is the wait time for each and every queue, right? How the queues are performing, what is the execution time. So if a process is executed, typically if you see like here, the execution time, most of the process runs on Q4, so you only have statistics of Q4, but typically that's not how you develop or design your business processes. You typically have to make sure, okay, based on the criticality, based on the priorities and all that, which queue you have to reassign, because one queue might get overloaded and other queues are not even working, right? So that's not the best way of doing that. So there's a whole session that I can take on just like how you want to define your queues, right? So let me know in the comment section if you're really interested to learn more about different queues, which is very important topic, which oftentimes gets overlooked. And then there are business processes, how many business processes on each and every queue, right? And if you see over here, it starts from Q1 to Q9, as I mentioned. Now, how do you access more information and how do you make changes to queues? You can do on runtime, right? There is like if you want to know more statistics about queue, which is very important for admin or a developer who is doing some testing, you have a very interesting portal, just like Mrs. Mailbox interface that I showed you. Oftentimes this are something, okay, which a lot of people I have seen, okay, are not aware of. There is one portal which is instead of dashboard, you type Q all in small letters and then W in capital letter and watch. So this is how the portal login page is, right? Q watch. And if you have access, if your user ID that you're using have access to Q watcher, you should be able to access that Q Watcher page. Now over here, as I'm accessing for the first time, it says Q Watcher page is disabled, enable Q Watcher. I am using my admin credentials, so I have an option of enabling that. But typically, based on whether your users has proper permission, you should be able to see this, or you have to contact your admin or who has access to like your admin privileges, okay, should be able to do that. So if I click on enable queue watcher, as soon as I do that, now I have access to all the information. Typically, this is the landing page of the queue watcher portal, right? Now, if you see over here, you can see view active threads on all queues. And as I mentioned, this is completely separate topic like that I can like cover in a separate session. Maybe I need like a couple of sessions to go over the queues specifically, but this is another portal that is very useful that I wanted to introduce in today's session. The last thing that I wanted to cover in today's session is about this uh, IBM Sterling Data Exchange Sales Foundation. Though it says Sales Foundation, typically it covers, if you see over here, it covers about the value proposition of Sterling Data Exchange solution, why Sterling Integrated is important, how it addresses the common pain points, right? And then it also goes more into detail of like if you click on this it goes system. But if you see over here, it talks more about B2B, it talks about Sterling, right? So I have found this specific uh, course like IBM Sterling Data Exchange Sales Foundation. You can search over credly.com with this name, and you can see like IBM employees can complete through this link. IBM Business Partner, if your company is part of the business partner relation with IBM, you can access this through this different link, right? There's another one which I wanted to introduce, which is called the Technical Sales Intermediate. I think this is the foundation, right? So you should do this one first and then the other one. But over here, if you see over here, there are like multiple links to like whether you are a business partner or an employee. These two sessions or these two courses, which will give you a batch which looks like this, that you can showcase in your LinkedIn profile, which might be attractive for potential recruitment teams or different companies, right? Which tells that you are kind of familiar with the Sterling B2B integrator space, right? But I'm going to give these links in the description of this video so that you are quickly able to access this and go through this. And all are free of cost as long as you are part of this business partner with IBM or you're an employee directly, right? With that, I'm going to conclude today's session. I hope this was useful. As I mentioned, those who are new to my session or my videos, please like, share, subscribe, and also hit the bell icon to get notified for any future videos that I'm going to post in my channel. Thank you, and I hope to see you in my next video next week.